Good morning and welcome to our podcast here of How to Fight CPS with Bob Pace and Daniel Watt. We are broadcasting live. This is a podcast that you can interact with. The purpose of this podcast is to help you fight CPS, the Child Protection System. And we have found through our experience and from talking to others around the United States that it seems that CPS has now become corrupt or has been corrupt. And it seems their emphasis is supposed to be, their emphasis right now is how to traffic your children and get away with it. That's a crazy thought. But anyway, CPS, is a government agency that's provided for every state to help protect our children from neglect and abuse, and also to do family reunification. That's the whole purpose of CPS. It isn't an idea they're supposed to make money or as opposed to tear families apart. And, it's the worst agency I've ever come across, worse than the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely is not your friend. They don't like you. And I know this is harsh to say this, but they're very lying, deceitful, not transparent. There's no accountability for them. They just have a free reign to do whatever. In fact, that was illustrated by me a week ago when I found an article about 8 social workers wearing pink T-shirts that said, "We're professional child kidnappers." And on the back, it says, "Where are your children?" And to me, that was a sick thinking.
Yeah.
Those were 8 social workers that worked a long time, and he thought they'd be funny to put among themselves. So when they did that, it was terrible. It was terrible. So I want to reemphasize out there is that we're not attorneys, and all we have is our cases that we can relate to and the cases of others. But we are definitely nice enough to listen and to care for you as a person, because you're going through a horrible time right now of dealing with something you know nothing about.
Right.
CPS is as foreign as it was until it happens to you. And that is the hard thing for people to understand. And they question right away. They come on this show. "I lost my children. What do I do? Who is CPS? What do they do?" And when I talk about the word CPS, Child Protection System, I mean all the agencies. They all have different names. Like in Arizona, it's Department of Children's Services. In California, it's Child Protection Services. I think where Danielle is from, Georgia, it's called the what again?
DFCS, Department of Family and Children's Services.
Right. So all these different acronyms or different names. When I say CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. Okay, it can be one of many different names. I just use CPS as an abbreviated word for that. So we both have had different cases, and with our dealings with child protection system, and we will share what we can and answer all your questions. Now, one way is to text a message and interact, and it looks like we got 2 people already. We have somebody named Cassandra Mallet White, and she is from New York. Her daughter's under investigation with CPS, so she must be a grandmother. They want her to do a FAR meeting. I don't know what a FAR meeting is. Should she do the meeting or not, do you think? I assume you're the mother of a daughter who is under investigation with CPS, and they want to do a FAR meeting. I don't know if they want to do a Zoom meeting on camera with her and so forth. And my recommendation would be, first of all, I don't know what the allegations are, but don't talk to social workers. That's the worst thing you can do. That's my rule number 3.
Get an attorney.
If you talk to social workers, they'll use it against you. So you don't want to give any information. What you can do very nicely to tell them is that answer yes, no questions. Tell them that before you do a FAR meeting, whatever a FAR meeting is, that you need to talk to your attorney. You may not have one, they don't know that, but it'll give you some time to get an attorney, because it's very important you establish that you have an attorney, because they're going to try to give you something called a public defender, and that is not a real attorney.
Mhm.
And so if you could give me more information what the meeting is and what it's about, I'll try to help you, Cassandra. I assume you're from New York. So, and then I have Christy Watkins, who is Page Ready. I don't know if that's your real name or what Page Ready means, but welcome. I like people
in New York. In New York, I don't know why. Okay, first, Bob, the names that they put on here where it says on Facebook, like the William Mullins yesterday. I think I don't know. I was looking on Facebook to see where the comments maybe were. So but I haven't, like, I just looked over it real quick, so I don't know. But she said she's from Washington State. But I also just looked up the FAR meeting, and it's a family assessment response. It's New York State's alternative child protective response to reports of maltreatment. It don't require an investigation and determination of allegations in individual cases for families reported to the SDR.
They're fishing. Yes. They're fishing.
So that's like
careful of that, Cassandra. They're fishing, Cassandra, and I think your daughter should get an attorney right away, because it's going to come down hard and fast where you swoop in and take your child, even though their child's not in danger. They have a bad habit of thinking every kid is in danger and taking your child and putting them in foster care.
That's an assessment. It sounds like she didn't do anything. She tripped and fell with the baby. How did she go to the hospital with the baby? How did it get reported to the CPS and up there where she's at? How did they get involved, like, to bring up this?
Yeah, that's the hard thing. You can't afford one. To give you some time to maybe talk to somebody, you can say that you need to talk to your attorney first. You don't want her to get CPS involved. They eventually are. They're going to get a court order and try to take your child. What may have happened is that when she fell with the baby, she went to go check the baby out at the hospital, and she told the doctors, and they in turn have a CPS worker that works in the hospital that would have came across it, and they are trying to investigate. You see, any allegations made by professionals or by lay people have to be investigated within 24 hours, and that they are true. It's not that they are false. To the proven true, CPS considers them true fact, and you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And that is so hard and so wrong. I know it's hard to do with the baby's dad did what?
They have a whole thing on this, the FAR meeting. Wow.
What are you looking at? FAR meeting what?
I'm gonna send you the link, okay? It's for she's talking. It's a manual for them for the it's their code up there that they use, I guess, for their manual, like what they're supposed to do, and I'll put it in here.
The baby's dad called CPS. That was the worst mistake you can ever do, unless he's trying to do retaliation. Maybe your daughter and her dad don't get along, and they want to retaliate and do something stupid like that. I always tell people they're very foolish if they live in a glass house and throw rocks. Because I see this happen all the time. Someone will make an allegation that isn't true, or maybe they want to get back at somebody. And then what happens, it blows up and it ends up becoming a big mess. Because if you wake up CPS, they're like a lion, and they'll pounce on your child and steal your child and gobble them up. They'll eat you alive and they'll gobble up your child. Those are harsh words. I'm sorry to tell you that, but the CPS is not your friend. CPS is not your friend. And if you don't get an attorney and you try to deal with a court-appointed attorney and let it get far and they take your child, you're going to spend the next couple years in hell. It's a terrible, terrible experience.
The link I just found was it breaks that down, like what they're gonna do in that FAR on the manual. I sent you the link in the private chat, Bob. But she was asking,
I see it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it.
Okay, because she was asking, could we send it to her? Because it breaks it down. It's chapter 5 of their CPS manual in New York.
Right.
And
yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like, I mean, it breaks it down like that. That's the way to go right there. Like that will, because that's the first I've heard about a FAR. I mean,
yeah.
But it's, and yeah, that explains where the baby dad, my daughter had 2
It's
kids.
a state law. It's a state law that authorizes a dual track protective system. The law prescribes the broad parameters of family assessment response and allows local departments of social services that are authorized to establish a FAR program considerable flexibility to develop approaches that the best match local resources, staffing capacities, and needs of family. The law excludes reports containing allegations of sexual abuse, physical abuse, severe or repeated abuse, abandonment, and failure to thrive from consideration for FAR. So I think it says there's sexual abuse, physical abuse, severe or repeated abuse, abandonment, and failure to thrive from consideration. It also requires initial assessment of child safety. If the child is deemed unsafe, the report may not be handled using FAR. It sounds like it's a lesser response.
It's to determine. It's kind of like a family like assessment. It's to notice the family and they do an examination with the family of the family's strengths, concerns, and needs. They're supposed to plan and provision of services, case management. They do a joint evaluation and assessment of the family's progress. So it's going to be, so it's not like, there's no one size fits all approach to families who come into contact. That's what they're saying. But they're trying to find it. This is a assessment where they're trying to find a solution focused. So it's like, it is a lesser, but they're trying to see if the allegations are true or not. If the child is deemed unsafe, or if it's just they need a little bit of, this is really where they're trying to see if they just need services to get back up on their feet, to get stabilized, or if the children are really unsafe by the allegations that were made. So it's just something in that, in only 6 months, they said. Her babe, the kid's father reported it, and as Bob, what do you think? I have mixed feelings about that one.
Well, I think she needs to talk to an attorney, and right now we have an attorney that can talk to her for 30 minutes. He can give a consultation. He's only charges $60, and he can be reached at 888-888-4882.
They removed the kids yet?
Say that again.
Have they already removed the child from the daughter? Or
no, they haven't done an FAR yet. They haven't done an FAR.
So that's kind of, I wonder. So they have not removed them. Okay, so this is something where
they haven't. They're going to try to do investigation.
Yeah, and that's what the FAR is, to see if they're deemed unsafe or if they just need like services. That's But that right there, it would be I would still consult with an attorney before you jump into something with them, because you know, if the he is working. Oh yeah, we'll see what she said about the baby dad. He's working with them already, so definitely speak with an attorney about.
Yeah,
He needs the number
I'm
again.
sorry to say, if the dad is already working with them, there must be something wrong with the relationship.
Yeah,
Is there something wrong with the relationship between the dad and the mother?
and she asked for Vincent's number again. And she said,
What
yes, there
number
is
she wants again? She says she wants
Vincent,
that number again.
the one to call in to the lawyer, Vincent Davis.
Oh yeah, it's 888-6582. He's a family law attorney. He'll talk to you for 30 minutes. His consultation fee is $60. And also, if you notice the bottom of my screen, there is a website you can go and you can line up your date with him. If you go to Vincent Davis, care of Bob Pace, Cadley.com, traffic VWC / Bob Pace. Law offices of Vincent VWD / Bob Pace. You
I
go to
remember.
that link too. That's also a good one, Cassandra. He has a
Good.
new girlfriend. Oh
And
my God.
they
There
do
is
have
something going
problems.
on between you and your daughter.
Mm-mm.
There is something wrong there. And he's using the CPS to twist their arms, but he's going to have a rude awakening because they'll take the
Right.
child away from him. He
Yep.
doesn't understand it. They will come and get him and bite him in the pants.
And it's going to be like kind of like the same situation that my son.
But you're going to have a hard time because you're fighting a disgruntled husband
Yep.
or a disgruntled partner. I don't know what role he plays there.
And they said he has a new girlfriend.
Yeah. So that
wow.
means definitely the relationship is broken up.
And that's
And
not going
without no attorney, she is going to get really messed up there.
And the girlfriend, the new girlfriend, shouldn't have any say at all.
Yeah.
In it, period. And that's, yeah, I would definitely consult with before you proceed on with them.
Bear with me, Cassandra. What we need to do is that there's another person named Christy Walkins, and she has a daughter that has 2 kids removed from her and placed with their dads. One had made the news 3 weeks ago before smoking heroin with a minor, and the other one was placed at the time, no DNA test on him. But after they removed them, CPS and judge dropped the case. Anybody smoking heroin with a minor is wrong. They had already given custody to them. We are in Oklahoma, and Paige Reddy is my daughter. Okay, so Christy Walkins says they're in Oklahoma. You're probably trying to get your daughter back, is what I'm thinking. Now, she says further, she says they're always assigning the one worker who took them when my case is open. The one is the one that hounds her. They try to force me to sign their plan. I signed to hold down their drama, but signed under duress over my name, which made the worker very angry with me. First of all, you never sign anything from a social worker. You need to talk to an attorney, and you can do so.
Duress,
and you can actually, you can even under duress, you don't sign anything with a social worker. They're going to make promises they won't keep. What you need to do is tell them, I need to talk to my attorney first. You may not have an attorney, but they'll give you a couple days. They'll give you a couple days to find an attorney. And we have an attorney right now, Vincent W. Davis. He's a family law attorney. And he can help you with your case. And he charges a $60 30-minute consultation fee. And again, you can call in to 888-888-6582. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, tell him that Bob Pace sent you. But you're in Oklahoma. I don't know what state are they in. When did this happen? Let me see here. I still don't know where they're at.
She's in Oklahoma. Christy is.
Yeah, but where's the father with the child? Where's the child? And it said it had been on the news for 3 weeks. that this
Um.
father was smoking heroin with a minor,
Oh gosh.
and that the other was placed at the time no DNA test. I don't know if you were thinking that he's not the father, and that's why they wanted DNA tests.
And
But after they
Tulsa.
removed them, CPS judge dropped the case. Why would they? Uh,
Oklahoma.
as I was telling you all, um, you're in Oklahoma. I know that, but are they in Oklahoma? Is that where they're at? Anyway, as I was starting to start the beginning of my show, I wanted to tell people how they react. We've already had 2 people send comments, which is great. All I ask is, besides their name, is their city and state they're from, and something related to CPS they can ask. So this is an Oklahoma case, and apparently uh, a father has a wow. Yeah. Anyway, I get also comments from international countries, which is fine. They have CPS problems. So you just tell me the city and country, or the state, the city and state, and what your CPS question. I've had calls from Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana, um,
Oh
Mexico,
wow.
Mozambique, and Denmark. So it's important that you tell me where you're at so I get an idea from you. I've talked to everybody in all 50 states, and all have the similar things. Another important way you could do it is to call in right now. Cassandra and Christy, you can call in at 626-698-0990. That's my office phone. And I'll put you on speakerphone and you'll be live. And we can help you that way. So I encourage people to call in at 626-698-0990. I have no guest on. We have no guest on this morning. So I'm open to anybody calling in. And everybody's called in lately has had a really different story. So
Every,
no 2 stories seem
everyone.
to be alike there. But you can call in and do that. Now, if you want to be a guest on the show, you can contact my producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And she will gladly put you on one of our 14 shows. We're on twice a day, uh, Monday, Monday through Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 7 o'clock. Now, on Sunday, it's at 8 o'clock only. And then on Saturday, this particular Saturday, I'm going to move it from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I'm going to move it from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So
Lord,
make that note that tomorrow morning, it's going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, be my morning show.
there's that name again.
Pardon?
William Mullins. From Lori Hiller. William
Yeah.
Mullins. I
Yeah,
wonder.
I have no idea. Lori, you've been on us for, I think, 3 days. We don't know
Yes.
where you're from or what your CPS question is. Please, text in a comment or call in
And
everything
his
like this. Now, we are caring people, and we care about what happens to you. We won't want you to have to experience the same thing, but we know what you're going through. And
right.
our whole purpose is to help you get your child back, and there is hope. It's really hard that most of you are struggling with very little finances and try to come back an agency that makes $38 billion a year. $38
A,
billion a year. I'm
a
talking
lot.
about billions. You know what 38 billion is. It's unnecessary because the government pays that much money. And so, with that being said, um, it's really, really uh, uh, hard for you to fight an agency with that much money because they are very deceiving and so forth. Yesterday, towards the end of our show last night, Danielle, did you find out more information And the last thing you'd like to
for
share with them?
the family in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I did do a lookup. I did look up that, and it is what it is it's like it gives them the CPS up there jurisdiction to go ahead and remove the child, and like they have permission to do it and file a petition for temporary custody at a later time. It goes ahead and gives them.
Well, how do they remove it? Is it a warrant?
No, they just, I mean, they didn't say nothing about a warrant. They can just, if they feel as though that there's imminent danger and the child's in danger, or let me I found I did, and there was something else, imminent danger, and if the case, it's up to the caseworker pretty much. If they feel as though, and then they have 2 days to find out if they are in danger, or if there's enough to prove that the child is unsafe, then if they don't, they have to return the child. If not, then that's when the petition goes for emergency removal. But they have pretty much 48 hours. Is it 48 hours? 48 hours
Yep.
to determine whether or not that
the child's in danger.
Yeah,
and it's all dependent on a caseworker.
And that is crazy, because I mean, that's a child's life in someone's hands. Like,
well, it's those crazy social workers wearing those pink shirts that were professional kidnappers. That's and they're not.
And then they can leave the kid and that's what happened with that family up there. They can leave the kid with them, and they have 2 days, and they can go back and get the kid and just take them, and without even a court order or anything. And that is just, it's. Oh wow. I mean, and I can't believe that right there in West Virginia that they can do that. That is absolutely, I mean, and it's not even like, then the judge, it's like the judge can go, and you know what I thought about when I was looking that up was the nunc pro tunc thing. Like the same, I was like, man, and they don't even have to file that to automatically get it to where it can be backdated. I mean, it's crazy. And I would not, I mean, what if there's, I didn't get to look further into it to see if like the caseworker had to be licensed, but I mean, is that just any caseworker? Does it have to be one that has the LCSW license or the licensed certified social worker? What? I mean, it just said caseworker on there, and it's an emergency removal. And
wow,
to me, an emergency is like right then and there, not 2 days later or a week later or even 24 hours later. No, I would think an emergency is like right then and there. I mean, they can come up with anything 48 hours, you know? And it's like they could, I mean, I've had caseworkers that have joined, like got on social media, like on Facebook, and joined groups that involve CPS and nationwide. And these caseworkers are in these groups, and that's a way to milk for information. Like, that's messed up. Like, that you're trying to find something. Like, no, it's horrible. Let's see. It's 40. I had it right here. But yeah, and I don't know, like, the show had to end, but I didn't know further into it, like what they did after the 2 days, what they ended up doing, or did they ever get the kids? I didn't hear her when she was telling us that. And let's see. I figured, and what it is it's like an emergency removal before filing a petition or anything for emergency. It's automatic.
I've also looked up what you talked about. It said that although CPS workers may also show up at your house without notice, they cannot legally force their way into your house. They must have your explicit permission before entering. However, if they have a court order, and I guess there's warrants and court orders. I guess there's 2 types of documents. Or believe, I guess a court order is the same thing as called a warrant. Or believe that a child is in imminent danger, the CPS workers do not have to abide by this rule. So if they have a court order, which is like a warrant, So what that
Yep.
lady was talking about in West Virginia, it was a court order, and so they have a
So they
right to
did
do
have.
it if extreme danger, but they got to
Well, they
show
said
extreme danger.
well, this is the three things for that. It would be that there's reasonable cause to believe that the child is in imminent danger, or continuing to stay in the home is contrary to the welfare of the child, and whether it's up to the caseworker's discretion. So that's just, I mean, if they have the evidence that'll, it's pretty much, I mean, they could take it for anything.
Yeah.
Whether the department made reasonable efforts to preserve the family and to prevent the child's removal from his or her home in an emergency situation made such efforts unreasonable or impossible. So
There's
did they
a
make
lot of
reasonable
power
efforts?
in the social worker's hands, because it says
Oh,
that when
yes.
they get the initial report of the child abuse, a caseworker screens the report to see if it needs to be investigated. So they do a
Remember,
background check.
like this right here? This is this bracket, the thing I showed you about the welfare system. I can't show it to you, but
Yeah.
it's not coming up. That thing, it'll
Oh.
break that down. That's on those brackets. It says they get a report, the report is screened, and then they say safety concerns exist, or it's a safety concerns or moderate, and then it says they determine if it's low, moderate, or high. And then
Yeah.
and this breaks it down. Like this would be perfect for what you're looking, that thing, but I don't know how to turn the screen. Like, yeah, but it'll break it. I mean, that's what I thought that was pretty cool. And it'll determine if they have substantial if they have a little or no risk, low to moderate risk, or moderate to high risk case. Like if there's a report of abuse and neglect. Like, and then they do an assessment and the severity, it all, yeah. So it sounds like the one up in New York is like a low to moderate, kind of between a little or no to low to moderate.
And then also it says further that social workers are considered government agents. A lot of power.
Where is that, in West Virginia or
That's
just
all
anywhere?
over the board. Yes, anywhere.
Oh, wow. And they tell you that they're not. Oh, wow.
They are a government agent.
Wow. Okay. That's what's up. The goal of child welfare is to promote the well-being, permanency, and safety of children and families by helping families care for their children successively, or when that is not possible, helping children find permanency with kin or adoptive families. That is what the Children's Child Welfare Information System says. For the goal of child welfare is to promote the well-being, permanency, and safety of children and families. And it's supposed to help them get, by helping families care for their children in certain situations. So, and they are not doing that at all.
No.
Wow. I mean, I couldn't ask. This right here, this little pamphlet helped me a lot when I first, wow.
And I just found something else didn't look at here. It says what is the parental risk factor for neglect? And the parental risk factor for neglect are unemployment, substance abuse, and mental illness.
Yep. And
I love
yep,
that unemployment is one of
is
those
on there.
things. Yeah, I hate that.
Is that nationwide?
Yep, that's
Oh,
nationwide.
wow. Let me see what I took. Let me check my email, because did I take a PAR? Because I had what did I have, a parental assessment evaluation or something, or parental fitness evaluation one time, and it was crazy. That was, let's see, just where's she at? page. Okay. Let's see what I took here. So, all right. What is this? I didn't even fill all that. They on a. It's crazy. Like they even on like the parental fitness assessment. Sometimes they do. Like I know they do them here. They give you an adult adolescent parenting inventory, and they take that. It's an AAPI test, and they actually go by this test or these papers, and it's like a bubble sheet, and you have to answer the questions like children need to be allowed freedom to explore their world and safety, and it's either you strongly agree, strongly disagree, and stuff. And you'd be surprised at, I mean, it's, and you can go to assessingparenting.com, and they have the test there and take it yourself. And this is where you're supposed to get referred, like what services you should get. And that's where the caseworkers, when they send you for an evaluation like that, to get an assessment done and see where your needs are met, like, I mean, where you need help in. And that's another way that these caseworkers can falsify stuff. Because I know that's a big thing down here is this. Are you looking at the New York or West Virginia?
No, I was looking at the federal statutes as a government agency. You see, I try to look at the federal CPS. I know it's important each state has their own, and we can look at that also, but you need to look at the federal.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So you type in your question, federal CPS, and then you describe your question. So
and then it breaks
you identify as federal and CPS. So the way that Google search, I don't know how other things do search.
Google's really good.
Are usually the first word in the hierarchy if you're doing your documents. So, you know, if you say the word federal, you're specifying where. And then you want to say CPS, and that's your subject matter. And then after CPS, you want to put in your question, you know. And so I was questioned, federal CPS social workers, are they a government agent, you know? And that's what I was trying to identify to see how much power they have. You see, CPS has way too much power and no accountability.
That's right.
They have a very scary job, you know, and a very delicate job because there are people that make wrongful allegations. Like the first person that talked to us, the mother of the daughter said that her boyfriend called in the CPS to use as retaliation to try to take the children from them. And so I don't know if she has more to say about it, Cassandra Mullet White, if you want to talk more. You know, it's really hard because it sounds like the boyfriend and your daughter had some type of differences instead of working it out. He chose to use the CPS as an arm to punish your daughter. And then he's found a new girlfriend. That means he's moved on. So something must have blew up between two of them because there's something that brought them together. And now whatever they had together is gone. And so, you know, it's a terrible thing. You're not the only person that has their daughter. My daughter's been stolen, and she's 21 now, but she was stolen at 12. And I know an Armenian woman had her daughter, who's 18, stolen and put into trafficking prostitution. So it is a horrible thing that we all have to experience and bear with it. So I have mixed feelings about everything. Mixed feelings. And it is hard because we have feelings. We are human beings, and we're born to have
Right.
feelings. We're not robots.
Right.
And it hurts us when we see people that are hurt and need there. Again, I remind everybody, please call in. We'd love to have you talk. Lori Hiller, that you've been on here for several times, but you said nothing about William. Maybe William is her lost son or something. Maybe that's what she does. She's so. Some people are so upset and so they just barely hang on. So, Lori, I'm reaching out to you
Right.
if you like to text. We'd love to help you if you like to call in or something. Again, Christy Watkins from Oklahoma, if you like to call in, we can help you. Cassandra is the same thing too. So we've had three people that expressed concerns. I think I better get into my rules because I don't think
Mm-hmm.
we have anybody at the moment here. Um, I have put together three rules that should help you. Rule number one, I've already talked about a little bit, but it's how to get a attorney for your case. And that is the hardest thing because right away you hear all the astronomical amounts. Now, there are two types of attorneys. There's attorneys that go for hire, and then attorneys that do not go for hire. They're called pro bono. And the pro bono
Mm-hmm.
attorneys are out there. There are people that want to help others and want to give back. And maybe they have a lot of cases and they still want to take two or three pro bono cases. Um, I know that Vincent Davis does some pro bono work. I don't know how much, but he does there. He likes to help out. So if money is a factor, then you need to search pro bono attorneys. So when you're going
Mm-hmm.
to identify what you're looking for, is the first thing you got to do is identify the area. So if you live, like, say, in, uh, let's say, geez, let's say you live in Podunk, Oklahoma. I'm only picking Oklahoma because we have somebody from Oklahoma. And the nearest big city is Oklahoma City. So what you do is you label your first city, Podunk, Oklahoma, and then Oklahoma City. Then after that, you want to put in pro bono if you want an attorney to show up that will not charge. And then you want to put family law attorney. And then you want to put in CPS after that. Um, those are the key buzzwords. And you're probably going to get a list of maybe hopefully 20 attorneys, 10 attorneys, whatever it is. But from a list of 10, you're going to make phone calls to all 10 to find out um, what kind of attorney they are a little bit. Maybe ask simple questions. Do you do pro bono work? Are you a family law attorney? Have you done CPS work? Or then after that, you want to do a consultation with 5 of them. You want to pick from the 10 and do a consultation with 5 of them. And that's where you're going to maybe have to pay a consultation fee, but it'll be worth it to identify somebody that will work with the chemistry. And we have an attorney right now that will do a consultation for $60 for 30 minutes. His name is Vincent W. Davis. He's a professional family law attorney. He's a trial attorney. He has fought CPS and has gotten children back. He's also sued
Mm-hmm.
CPS in both federal and state courts. So you want to um, you want to consider him as one of your top 5 that call, and it's very important when you call in. You just say that Bob Pace sent you. The number again is 888-888-6582. That's 888-888-6582, and that's Mr. Vincent Davis, and you want to have a consultation with him for 30 minutes. There, he'll discuss the strategies of how to fight your case, maybe answer one technical question about law. You know, he's very thorough about that. He's very friendly. He's helpful. He'll talk to you. If you like him and you like the chemistry, then you can talk to him about his retainer, and he could be representing you. He works out of Southern California, but he also works in Northern California. He works in other states. I know 2 weeks ago he's in Oklahoma. So I'm telling you that he's an excellent choice to choose from, and you should contact him on that. Now, down the bottom of my screen is a ticket that reads about how to set up an appointment with Mr. Davis, and it says consultation with attorney Vincent Davis, care of Bob Pace, Cataly.com/law office VWD/Bob Pace. So you put that whole thing in, and it should come up on the internet. It should come up on the internet. And so you can go ahead and do it where you can just sign in. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can sign in. So that's my rule number one. Now, why do you think you need an attorney? And people will argue me, I can do it myself. Well, I tried for a year and a half and I got nowhere. And it's like doing open heart surgery. Would you, as a layperson, want to cut open your heart or your chest and remove your heart and work on it as a layperson?
No.
Would you want another layperson to do it? You want a family friend? No, you're going to ask a professional doctor in heart surgery
Right.
that can save your heart. Maybe you need a new valve, or you need a stent put in it, or something else. And they have gone to medical school. They've studied to be a doctor. They've done an internship where they practiced the medicine for a while, and then they mentor a doctor who's been in the field for a while, so they get a handle of it before they're going to cut open your chest. Well, CPS is just like that. You're going to find CPS like your Alice in Wonderland. If you know the story of Alice in Wonderland, she falls in a rabbit hole. And then she ends up going through doors after doors, going nowhere, talking to people that are very confusing. And it's a confusion nightmare in CPS. They're not friendly. They lie. They're deceitful. And they'll tell you one thing and mean another thing. And I'm telling you, is that you need an attorney to navigate and be able to work through this. As I say, Vincent knows the strategies. He can tell you about how to fight CPS and how to get your kids back. And for 30 minutes for $60 is well worth it. I mean, if you think about it, a good book is $60. So, yes, I mean, it could be Starbucks coffees, six coffees you could cut back. I think coffees are what, $10 now or something at Starbucks. But anyway, you could do that, not have coffee for six times. But anyway, I strongly recommend the number one thing. And then when you're talking, to him, be candid with him. Ask him how much it is and everything like that. Also, keep in mind when you talk to pro bono attorneys, if they start talking about money right away, then drop them. That's one thing those 10 phone calls can do, is you weed down to 5 of people that are serious. Anybody that starts talking about money, whether you're going to hire them or not hire them, or whether they're pro bono or not, is an attorney to stay away from. There are too many ambulance chasers, attorneys, advertising all the time. Come do us, come do that. We'll get you $1 million. They're ambulance chasers. They know how to get money. And our problem is, for society is so stupid and corrupt and everything. I look at right now on the news, we have a stupid case going on that after 11 days, no one knows who's on first, who's on second. And it's stupid. There's no respect for people that have held former offices. That's what I'm saying. CPS is no respect. They're the same mentalities that people that show no respect for other people. And it's sad. It really is. And so when people start putting others down and stuff like that, that's wrong. Because, I have an old Indian saying, never judge a person till you walk in their moccasins. Now, what I mean by that is that you don't know what the person's been through. You do not know all the ups and downs or anything else. And you should never judge somebody. We have a lot of people on this show that want to help. And at first you may hear them or thinking they're a loser. But I feel that anybody who takes the time to try to get their child back or try to help save their child is a good soul because they care
Mm-hmm.
about children. Most people that do bad things are not going to take time to come on Facebook to talk. So anybody that talks on our show, I have a lot of good respect for them. We had a gentleman 2 days ago or yesterday, Gil, and they were bad mouthing him, saying he's a drug dealer. He did this, he did that, and that was proven. There's so many times that people put words in people's mouths to describe them. So, you know, um, all respect goes out, and you should respect your elderly people too. There's a lot of disrespect. I found that in my case when I was being investigated at age 65, how disrespectful they were. I don't think I'm 65. I'm 74 now. And at the time the CPS started to get a hold of me, I was 60 when I lost my job. And so, and that's through no fault of my own, by the way. But I am a caring, loving person and a man. And I would like to have you all know that when you're on our show, that you have our respect, and we will
Mm-hmm.
help you. Um, Try to help you solve your case.
Help
So,
you in any way we
yeah,
can.
again, all you listeners out there, I have 3 thumbs up today. Thank you. And then if anybody comes in, please text us or call us or set up a time to talk to us. We'd love to help you. Now, rule number 2 is a boring one because it's paperwork, and no one likes to do paperwork. And rule number 1 is you're going to get yourself a blank notebook and try to get a notebook that has subject tabs that you can write on. And you want to divide it. And I would start off with a 5 subject tag notebook. And your first tab is you're going to list all the incidents, all the events that are taking place with your case, and list them by date and time. And then after the date and time, put who was involved. Was it social workers, police, their names, or whatever it is? Then the next line, you describe what the incident was. They came to your house, they sent me a letter, you came to their office, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
incident was, you write it down. And then after that, you want to put the outcome. You want to know the outcome because this information we'll use later. 6 months from now, you're not going to remember all the incidents.
Right.
I did not do this. I was a bad mistake. And then you repeat it with a couple extra lines skipped and do your incident 2, incident 3, 4, 5. So you'll fill up that whole tab and pages there. Now that's why you want to get something that has a lot of pages with tabs. There's ways you can add pages and things, but you could get yourself a notebook and then have holes that are pre-punched and put in, if you have a 3-inch notebook, you can put in 500 papers and then get your own dividers. That's the
Right.
best way to do it. But sometimes those are expensive. I mean, notebook is probably $3, $5. Paper is going to be $2 for 500 papers. Dividers are going to be maybe $1 now. And so, you know, uh, get a notebook that has all that. But I think the best kind is to get that notebook that you can hole punch. And that way you can open it up and take pages out and add pages in and
Mm-hmm.
sort it. Then
Like a Bible.
your next tab should be all the programs that you're doing, all the parenting classes, the programs, your drug tests. All that information should be in that tab number 2. It's right there. Again, that
Mm-hmm.
book is for CPS and it's for you to utilize. Then your third tab is going to be things like you found websites or information sites like you Google, you write down all that information down there. That's your resource tab, resource information, because you should look up the welfare and institution code of each state regarding CPS because there's a lot
Yep.
of information you get. And the key to accessing this, besides getting an attorney, is information. It's so
Right.
important you read and investigate, read and
Yeah.
investigate. And
Yep.
I think Danielle concurs with me on that. And so now you've
Def-
gotten 3 tabs started in your CPS notebook, and now you have 4 and 5, and they can be whatever you may want to do. But I can guarantee if you have a 3-inch notebook, which is a pretty good size, 3
mm-hmm.
inches about that,
Yeah.
I guess. I'm trying to do it there. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
that way, full of paper and dividers, you're going to find yourself a lot better that way. If the 3-page book is cumbersome, you can take out a page and just use one page to write on. You don't
Right.
have to have the whole thing. So having notes is my rule number 2. Having a way, because if you get an attorney,
Super true.
it's going to
Super
help you
true.
work with your attorney. It's also going to help you work with the judge because you say on such and such a date this happened. There's a
You
lot of
have
times people try to remember things and they can't. So
right, and that's keep a timeline, detailed
yeah.
information for trail.
Also, and I meant to get to tell you, they may want to have a separate notebook of all the correspondence, all the court papers, because mine was about 12 inches thick. And so it's a lot of papers. And you want to have that. And they're available free if you qualify for low income. But the city clerk, not the city clerk, the court clerk of the court you're at has that information. Everything that they do in court, that's one thing nice about CPS is their paper. Um, they like to do a lot of paperwork, and that paperwork can sometimes hurt them. But they
Yep.
should send you every report, every investigation, everything. They don't go to the court clerk and ask for copies because in
Right.
order for it to be in the case, it's got to be entered in the court. And so that's where all the information is. And again, that's another useful source of information for paperwork. Now, my rule number 3, and got to make sure in our time, we have about 4 minutes left. Our rule number 3 is how to deal with social workers and police. And they are scary people. Police are intimidating because they wear uniforms and they're mostly, it seems lately, all combat ready. They have their combat boots on, their bulletproof vests, armor, and they have to because it's a weird world we're in. They don't know when they're going to have, but they're very intimidating looking to you, and they're not usually friendly. And we need the police as well as we need the social workers, the CPS workers. But the social workers and the police are going to try to fool you, to dupe you, to do something you don't want to do. So my recommendation is anytime you're approached by a social worker or a policeman, you say very little. That is the key to anything because your time in court will come.
You do have
And you don't want to
rights.
say things that will come against you. You have to understand everything they say they record and use against you.
Yep.
They don't do anything called off the record.
Or they
And
can
if you
witness
tell them,
against you.
this is off the record, I want to tell you this. No, they don't work that way. And I'm sadly to say they're not. And social workers use the police as their dunces because they want to instigate something.
Right.
So, with that being said, is that you don't want to talk to them. If you do, it's a yes, no answer. And you say very little. And anytime you're talking to them, if you don't feel comfortable, you can stop it by saying, "Can I have your business card? And I'll get back to you. I want to talk to my attorney." Saying that, talking to your attorney will put them off guard because they are hoping you don't have the money for an attorney or anything like that. They don't know whether you have one, but that'll give you some days to find an attorney or think of another plan of how to talk to them. Try to talk to them outside of your home and at their office first. Do not bring your children with you to the office. Have your partner take care of them or have a relative take care of them. But it's very important you don't because they will take your child and they are professional kidnappers. Ever since I see that, sure, I think that's what they are. They're professional kidnappers. And so you don't want them in your home because what's in your home is going to hurt you. You may not have the perfect home. No one does. You may have just got a project if things spread out. You may have been too sick and not all the dishes are clean. They're in the sink. You know, there are things that can get you into more trouble for them seeing your home. They want to. They want to go through your underwear drawer. I still don't understand why that is. But they go through all the drawers of your house looking for drugs, looking. They are constantly, and you don't want to give them permission. They need permission to come in your home
Right.
unless there is immediate harm happening to your children, meaning if they're being beaten or they're being a gunshot going off, a knife, they're fighting. There's got to be extreme danger for them to come into your home.
Wow.
Now, they will go to get a court order. And a court order is a warrant. And that warrant is got to be specific where it's signed by a judge, what they want to do, who they want to see, where they want to see, and the time they want to see, and what the allegations are. That's got to be all in the warrant. If it's not, if it's a Xerox copy, they have a stack of warrants they keep in the office, and they'll flash it in your face. You need to read it. You need to look at it and be protected there. Because you don't want them in your house. That goes for the police too.
Not in our
The
house.
police have to follow the same rules as a social worker does. It just the social workers like the police along because they look more intimidating.
Right.
A social worker doesn't wear guns and armament. They do wear boots and stuff, and they look pretty.
They try to look
like roughnecks. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah. And so we've run out of time. I've run 1 minute over. I'm being scolded probably again. But anyway, I want to thank you, Danielle, for taking the time to talk. We did try to talk to some people. I want to thank Cassandra and Christy and Lori for coming in and trying to get some help. And I really care about you. Christy, I want to thank too. She was another one. I think we had 4 today. And I want you not to give up. And I'll see you tonight at 7:00 Pacific Standard Time. Have a really great day. God bless you. And this is Bob and Danielle signing out.